Hi everyone. I'm going to try and explain in this video without it getting too confusing, excuse me, or too long, how I've made the box for my crackers. Excuse me. So obviously my crackers were sent off to TV to show you, so I've had to make 4 new crackers to try and explain my thinking behind this. So to start off with, you need to measure the length of your crackers, and they should all be about the same, and then the width of them, and you want them to be not too tightly packed, but packed so that they'll all stay the right way up, like with the bows upright, and then how deep they are. So for me, this was just using a ruler, and it helps if you have one with the flat edge at the top so that you can hold it against it. So to me, the length of mine were 26, but just to give a little wiggle room, I've done it to 26.5. So the length of my crackers I've done as 26.5. Now the width I've done exactly the same, and I've put these to 24.5. Again, they came to 24, but just added on an extra 0.5 centimetre. And also then if you put this up against here, you'll see that it comes to nearly 6. So you want them to be quite tightly packed, and I've not done a lid for these, so you'll just have to work it out along the same sort of measurements, but just reducing them by increasing them by a couple of mil on each measurement. So this is just for the box base. I could probably do a separate one for the box lid if anybody wants one, but for these I'm doing 6 centimetres. So let's put these off to one side, and we can bring those back in at a later stage. So I then got to thinking, well, I've only got A4 card, so how am I going to work it out with A4 card? So you start off with your width and your length, and you know you want 6 centimetre in height, and I wanted double walled box, so 6 and 6 makes the double wall, 6 and 6 on the other side makes the double wall, and again the same on the other side. But I don't know whether you saw my box on television, but I wanted the joins all in one place, or as hidden as they could be, so that it didn't look hodgepodge and didn't make it look as though I didn't know what I was doing. When to start off with, I actually didn't know what I was doing. So here's my workings. I'm not saying that it's right, but this is how I came up with it. Now, if you can see here, you can see the join lines, and I've got like 1, that's another piece of card, another piece of card. So we're actually using 6 pieces of A4 card. Some you can see, like here, we're only using a little bit. Here we're using a bit more here, but to do it this way, you need 6 pieces of A4 card. Not chopped down in any way. We'll do the first 2 pieces. Sorry, the first 4 pieces, and then we are going to cut it down a little bit, but I'll get to that later on. So I will try and do some written instructions as well as this video, but obviously that won't be today. maybe tomorrow, who knows. But some people are visual, some people can only do it by reading. So I'll try and do both, just so that you can both do it, whether you're visual or verbal. Right, let's get on with it, and let's hope I don't mess it up. So, first two pieces. Oh, crash bang, that was my scoreboard. That was a good one, wasn't it? And made the dog jump as well. So, first two pieces, these are A4. So, with piece number 1, you want to score at, let me bring my scoreboard in. So, you want to score at, just have to keep making sure that I'm in camera view. So you want to score at 1.5 down the short end, and then 1.5 on the long edge. Okay, with me so far? So that's piece number 1. Piece number 2, you're just going to score along the long edge. Just make sure I've got my, yeah, score along the long edge. Now I'm going to try and have all of the joins on the inside. And I've found that if you do a score line, instead of just gluing one on top of the other, it actually hides the join a bit better, because the edge is butted up against the fold line, which actually makes it smooth. Once you're doing it yourself, you will see what I mean about that. So, what we're going to do, we're going to put these together. So we're just going to put both short edges together. You've got the score line on this one and no score line on this one. So you're going to put that up against there and you're going to glue it. I'm using wet glue for this, and this is Phil's glue. So you're going to put that raw edge up against the fold line. Excuse my arm going across the screen. And you're going to burnish that down. You'll hear us say burnishing, and some of you may not know what that means, but burnishing just means that you're distributing the glue over the entire surface of that card, and you're making it adhere better. Okay, so that's our first two pieces. You can just get rid of the remnants of the glue, and as it's so hot in my craft room today, I am going to keep putting the lid on my glue. That might get a little bit annoying, but it'll stop it drying out. Right, let's move some space because we're taking up quite a bit of room. So piece 3 and piece 4, this will join onto here. But to start off with, what we're going to do is we're just going to score at 1.5 centimetres on one of the short edges. Don't need anything on the side, because we're going to butt these up on here and glue them against this edge. So all we want on piece number 3 is just the 1.5 centimetres on the short side. So make sure that you're doing it the right side. So I am going to butt it up to the score line. So the score line is actually coming out this way, which will be the right side. So we'll add some glue to there. Hope this is all making sense so far. Made sense in my head. but probably listening to it, it's not making any sense whatsoever. So you need to get these as fairly straight as you can. So burnish again, just to distribute all of that glue that's under there. Turn it over and do the same the other side. So I'm not sure if you can see on there, but this bit here, you've got a bit of a lip. That's going to be the inside. This one here, you've still got a lip, but it's hidden by that. Oh, would help if I'm in the camera. You've still got a bit of a lip here, but it's hidden by that raised score line. Once you get doing this, you will see what I mean a bit clearer. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, right, so this is the raised area. So what we're going to do is we're going to add glue to here, and I'm only doing a little bit of it at a time, just making sure that I've got it the right way round. So that's raised, that's raised. Right. Normally these are the sorts of things that I bumble away in my craft room at, and I don't have to explain to anybody how I've done it. Obviously Phil's asked me to explain to you all how I did it. So apologies if it is confusing. Welcome to my head. So that's done that bit. I'm burnishing, and that side and burnishing. I've just broken it down into two separate pieces so that it's just a little bit more manageable in the space that I've got. It's still a little bit hot in my craft room, but I've turned my fan off so that you can't hear it. I'm just hoping that the dog doesn't bark if the doorbell goes, because otherwise that will ruin my video and I'll have to start all over again. Oh, I think that moved. No, it didn't. So again, burnish it. The joins just end up being stronger if you have burnished them. Right, so now we can start adding the measurements the other way. So what we're going to start off with on number 1, you can see here, we're going to do 6 centimetres all the way down. And what you're going to say to me is, well, my scoreboard's not that long. What's that? 29, 40, 58. It's not. It's only 30, or mine is. So what you're going to do is you're going to move it down, score it, and then move it down, score it, move it down until you've got it in place. Now, let me just make sure that I am doing it the right way. And that's the outside and that's the inside. So we're going to be doing it up. So I always fold with the bit where you get a bump where you folded it, so where it goes into the scoreboard, that's what I fold up against. So the bit that goes into here I fold onto, because I think it makes a better fold. But if you're not bothered, then you can do it however you want to do it. but I'm just making doubly sure that I'm doing it the right way. So I'm going to, bear with me. So on this one, I'm going to, so we're doing the sides now, and we know the sides, we said we're going to be 6 centimetres. So that's 6, that's 12. Okay, so we move it down, and we know where the 6 is. We're butted up to the edge here. So we're just going to carry on down that 6 centimetre line and the 12 centimetre line, and move it down again and carry it on to the bottom. Okay, so we've got one side of it done. Now what we want, because we're doing the width, which is 24.5. Okay, you with me so far? So from there, we need to measure 24.5, so that the fold over this side is the score line, is the fold. Make sense? So you get rid of one of your lines. So what you can do is you can measure it. So we're doing 24.5 and do a line. 24.5 and do a line. So we've got that 0.5 centimetre wiggle room. So let's just see if we can find, oh yes, so if I put it over to this side of my scoreboard, it's actually falling correctly, or it has if I didn't move it, into that slot. So you can line it up with that side of your scoreboard. Oops. And do 24.5. So from that line there to that line there is 24.5. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're actually going to join, make this a join. So we need to cut that off at 1.5 centimetres. So we've got a 1.5 centimetre flap. So we can do it like this and put it in again and do 1.5 centimetres all the way down. And then we're going to cut this bit off. So with my scissors, just making sure I'm still in shot, we're going to cut up that score line there. Right, so let's put that over to one side. And what we're going to do with this is to fold this again. So we've got the first 6. Let's move that out of the way. The second 6. And the 24.5. making sense so far? It will all become clearer. Let me move that out of the way. So now we're going to be doing, just making sure that I'm telling you right. So with our next piece of card, we're going to score at the 1.5. Oops, what am I running over? So we're going to score at the 1.5 on the short side and stick the other piece to it. Here's my glue. And you'll see when we've finished doing this that it means that on all 4 sides the joins are in the same place. Right, put my lid on that and bring the other piece back in again and just make sure that, so that's the right side. So again, we want to be adding glue to this one. This is the raised piece. So we're going to be butting this piece up to the raised piece. No, I'm going to do it the other way around. Just because my lines didn't match up in the middle. Apologies if you can hear noises from outside, but as it is so hot, I have my windows open. You don't need to worry about that because we'll be cutting that off. When I'm stood here doing this and not doing a live, it actually feels as though I'm crafting for myself, so I have to remember not to keep disappearing off the screen. So if I disappear off the screen, just shout at me. I can't hear you, but just shout at me anyway. I may be able to hear you. Or just send me a message and shout at me. Oh no, the sun's got to me. The sun has got to me. Right, so we know we've got the 6, the 6, the 24.5 to there. So now we need a 6 and a 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the scoreboard back in again. And what you can do is you can actually measure from that score line and measure 6 and 6, or you can fold that on there and do it like that. Put this last fold line up against the edge. Can you see that there? So that's the fold edge up against the edge. And then you can do 6. Let's get the proper 6. And 12. If you're wondering why I've got ribbon on here, it's so that I can put it through the loop of my scoreboard so that I don't lose it. Don't use it. So if you carry on doing this, move my measurements over and just keep moving it up until you've scored the whole bit. So 6 and 6. So what we can do now is we can actually cut this off here, because that will be your outside edge. So we can cut that off. So the piece where I added the glue in the wrong place has now gone. It's vanished because it's on the outside of that bit. Right, so you've got a piece of card that you can chop down and that you can use for something else. So this way you've now got your six either side. So you've got a double layer. Let's just score this. So you can see that you've got a double layer there, and you will find that all 4 of your crackers, oops, ping, will go in there. Yeah, you happy with that? So it's all starting to make sense. So let's take those out, and what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this. Where's one of my tags gone? I've got a 1, 2, I've lost my 3. There it is. There it is. Right. So what we're going to do on this one is, so if we move this round again, you can see what we've done is put the joins over there like that. Oh, I'm thinking, what haven't I done right? Oh, I don't know. I'm getting myself confused now. So what we need to do is to score the other side. Now then, let me just get my head into this again. So that. So we want that. So we've got the 24 there, haven't we? So we want the 26 here. So what we need to do is score 6 and 6 again. So again, we want to be doing 6 and 12, just got a nice breeze come through the window. Oops. And 6. And then we want to do the same thing with measuring there to the 26.5. We did the 24.5 the other way. So we want to do the 26.5. So if we go up here and do 26.5, move all those down out of the way, and then we can score. Now, is that going to fall again so that it's right way, or is it not? No, it's not going to fall right this time. Oh, yes, it is. Let's see if it will do it right this way. Yeah. So we can do it there. Move it down. Do a bit more. Move it down. Do a bit more. So that's the first 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're not sure, just throw everything on the floor. That's 6. So we can go down. Make sure that you keep it butted up against the side so all of these bits are even. I bet you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I don't think I'll do a box. So you've got 6, 6, 26.5, 6. And then we need to do another 6. So again, you can measure it if you want to be certain that it's in the right place. So you make sure you get the right groove. And you can move it down. You don't need to use a scoreboard for this. You can use a ruler and, let me find what I mean, because I can't think of the name of it, a ball tool, but a really fine ball tool. You don't want a big clumpy one like this. You want one with a really fine point, and I can't find it. So, yeah, one with a really fine point. So you've got your 6, and then we're going to cut this off. So we're getting somewhere now. And I think you'll find that once we've done this, you will see the shape starting to come to more of what this looks like with the shapes in the corners. So we've finished with our scoreboard, so we can put that away. Just try and clear the decks a little bit. So I can put that away, can put my pencil away, can put my rulers away, my glue that I didn't put the lid on can be put away for the minute. So let me unfortunately I forgot to bring a drink up with me, so apologies if I keep coughing. Right, so I think we can actually take those off now. And we can start to shape the edges. So in the corners, you want all 4 corners to look the same. You're going to cut like 3 blocks off. So if I put that up against there, make sure you can still see it, you're going to be cutting 1, 2, 3 blocks off. So let me do that, and then I didn't realise I had so many rulers. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut up on the outside of the score line, cut up on the outside of the score line, turn it round, cut up with the score line on the right hand side of your scissors. Again, score line on the right hand side of your scissors, and then you're going to just cut this score line off here, just so that it folds a bit easier. So we'll do that, and all these pieces can come in useful for your berry sprigs and your holly branches. So we can cut with the, what did I do on that one? Cut with the score line on the right of your scissors, score line on the right of your scissors, cut that score line out, just for ease of folding. It's only a couple of mil. So if we turn that round, you're going to cut the score line off on the right and cut that one off as well. Any questions? So what we're going to do is cut up there. And I do apologise if I'm out of shot on this. So cut that little bit out there. I think that last little bit we were out of shot on. That's why it's helpful to have 4 corners. So you'll know if you need to cut any more out of it when you come to fold it up, because obviously there'll be bulk in there that you can't fold up. And obviously when you're cutting into the joins as well, you've got a bit of extra bulk there as well. I don't know whether you could just hear me going through that. So cut up this one, turn it round, cut up there, and cut up there. So now we've got the basis. So you've got these to join in the 4 corners, and you can reinforce all of your score lines now. So by reinforcing them, I mean you can go back and refold all of your score lines. I think I've redone all of them. Right, construction. So work out which is, that is the neatest side, so that's going to go on the outside, and all of the the messy bits are going to go on the inside. So we know that we've got a double walled edge, and when we fold these in, you'll find if they catch too much on the inside of the box, you just need to take a couple of millimeters off them. So let's try the other side. That catches just a little bit, so I'm just going to take a couple of millimeters, not much, off that edge so that it doesn't catch on the inside of the box. Those of you that have made boxes before will know exactly what I mean. So let's try for this side, and that folds up okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to ignore the second skin, but we're just going to use these flaps to go underneath, and we're going to make the corners. So add glue to this piece here, and you want to make right angle corners. And all I do with my corners is I just add a clip on the top there. If you've got a paper clip or you've got double-sided tape, but I just happen to have the little bulldog clips. So again, turn it round, fold that second skin back, and make right angle corners and secure it in place. Again, next corner, fold that back, add glue to this flap here, close it up, form a right angle in the corner, and place your clips on there. And again, fold that back. That wants to go inside, adding the glue to there. And again, making a right angle in the corner. So if you didn't add your second skin onto your box, that would be your box made. So let's get the crackers and pop them in. So if you didn't do the second skin on the wall, there you'd have your box finished. But I think we want to try and make it a bit sturdier, which is why I've added this separate piece on the side. So let's take the crackers back out again, and we can start to remove the clips because they will have taken. You can see here that there's a little bit overlapping, so you just want to cut that excess off so that it doesn't hinder the fold. So again, just checking there. No, that's flush. Here, that's flush. And here, that's flush. So we can fold all of these in now and stick those in place. So just add glue I do apologise. It's the wrong day to be doing this and not to have bought some water up with me, isn't it? But I'd started, so I had to keep going. So I'm going to put a few on, and by the time we get round to the last one, we'll have got some. So hold it in place, press it down, and see what I'm doing here. I'm just pressing. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just pressing here onto the bottom of my mat. I think you can just see that a little bit. I'll squeeze it and then onto the next side. So you're adding glue onto the inside of that flap. You could use double-sided tape for this, but I find that over time double-sided tape can lift, and I don't want it to lift. If this is something that we're going to be bringing out year after year, we don't want anything to lift, do we? So I'm just going to move those over here, and we can add some more glue to the inside of this one. Hopefully it is all making sense now. See here that I'm burnishing inside there, and then I'm just going to add the clips. So again, adding the glue. And putting that over. And just burnishing that. Hold that in place, and I'm just going to go round and burnish all of them again now. So running my bone folder all inside just to make sure all of the glue has dried. Making a nice crisp edge on the side of the box, because we all love a crisp edge, don't we? Somebody's having a takeaway delivered. Just heard a dulcet tones of a scooter arriving. So there we go, and you'll see on each side, try and get it in a good light, it is, I think that will be 6 centimetres. No, about 7.5 in from the edge. So you'll see we've got borders around here, and this is where we can put a strip. Where's my dies? So you can cut a strip of card. I'm just trying to find a strip. You could add, just trying to find a strip of gold. You could add that, cut that to size and put that on there, and you can add one of the decorative pieces from this. You'd just have to chop it down, but using that on there just covers up the join line, and you could do that on all 4 sides. Just chop that down and cover it up, and anybody would think that you'd made a feature of it. So no, wrong way. So no, there we go. So you've got your box there, and that's nice and secure. And we did give it an extra centimetre each side, and I think we've lost some of that in the folding of the card. So you can see there that you're well within. You've still probably got about ½ centimetre there from the top of the cracker. So there you go. There's the box for your crackers. You could make the lid with just acetate, but you just need to make it slightly bigger so that it would slot over the top of this. But for display purposes, I didn't want a lid for mine. Okay. So there you go. Any questions, please let me know. Let me know how you get on with yours. And thank you very much for watching. Bye.